Can I ask y'all something? Which one of these do you think people get more excited about? This or this? Exactly. Nobody wakes up thinking, you know what would make my day? Buying travel insurance. We get so excited about the destination, the excursions, the food, the cruise, the resort, the countdown. Travel insurance, not so much. For most people, it's just another box that we just check, or worse, the first thing they remove to save a little money. Have you ever noticed something? When you buy a new phone, they ask, would you like the protection plan? You buy a new laptop, would you like the protection plan? A television, a refrigerator, even a washing machine. Protection, protection, protection. The most of us don't even think twice about it. But then we'll spend 3,000, 5,000, sometimes 10,000 on a vacation and say, I'll take my chances. Now don't worry, this isn't going to be a sales pitch. Matter of fact, I don't care if you buy travel insurance from me, the cruise line, from another company, or from wherever you choose. My goal today is much simpler. I just want you to understand what travel insurance actually is, what it isn't, and why it's one of those most misunderstood parts of planning a trip. Because here's the truth: travel insurance isn't about expecting something bad to happen, it's about recognizing that life doesn't always ask for permission. Illness doesn't check your vacation calendar, and storms don't wait until you get home. Airlines don't promise perfection, and family emergencies don't happen only when it's convenient. Life just happens. And here's what I've learned after helping travelers for years: the people who end up needing travel insurance never expected to need it. Not one of them. Nobody wakes up on departure day saying, I hope I have to file a claim today. That's not how life works. The value of travel insurance isn't measured by how often you use it. It's measured by what it can protect if life suddenly happens. So today, we are going to take the mystery out of travel insurance. No confusing language, no scare tactics, just a real conversation about protecting the vacation you worked so hard to plan. Because I believe confidence doesn't come from hoping everything goes perfectly. Confidence comes from knowing you've prepared as best you can. And friend, that's exactly what we're going to do today. Every Monday, the carry-on crew arrives here, the departure lounge, before the adventure begins. So, welcome aboard. Hey, carry-on crew. Welcome back to another Travel Talk. I'm Christy, and around here, we believe travel should leave you with memories, not migraines. So whether you're watching from your living room, on your lunch break, or while you're planning your next adventure, I'm so glad you are here. Grab your coffee, grab your tea, or grab something frozen with a tiny umbrella in it. Because today we're talking about something that isn't glamorous at all. But it might be one of the smartest travel decisions that you'll ever make. Travel insurance. What it covers, what it doesn't, and why understanding it could save you a whole lot of heartache someday. So, can we talk for a minute? I think travel insurance has an image problem. The moment people hear those two words, they immediately think somebody's trying to sell me something, or I've traveled before and never needed it, or my personal favorite, nothing's going to happen. And honestly, I hope nothing ever does. I hope every flight leaves on time. I hope every suitcase arrives exactly where it's supposed to. I hope every cruise sails without a problem. I hope every traveler comes home with nothing but incredible memories. That's what I want every single time. But here's the thing: travel insurance isn't built around your vacation, it's built around life. And life doesn't always follow the itinerary. Have you ever noticed that you can spend months planning a trip, choosing the destination, saving the money, requesting time off from work, shopping for clothes, counting down the days? Everything is finally falling into place. Then life happens. Maybe someone gets sick. Maybe a loved one has an emergency. Maybe severe weather changes everything. Maybe your flight is canceled. Maybe you have an unexpected medical issue before you ever leave home. None of those things mean you planned badly. They just mean life interrupted the plan. And can I tell you something I've learned after helping travelers over the years? The people who need travel insurance the most, they never even see it coming. Nobody calls me months before a trip and says, Christy, I think something expected is going to happen in October. Nobody says that. Because if we knew, it wouldn't be unexpected. That's why it's called life. You know, I think sometimes we confuse optimism with preparation. We think, I believe everything's going to work out. And that's wonderful. I believe that too. But believing for the best and preparing for the unexpected can exist together. Think about it. You wear a seatbelt not because you expect to have an accident. You lock your front door not because you expect someone to break in. You save money for emergencies not because you're hoping something goes wrong. Those aren't acts of fear, they're acts of wisdom. Travel insurance fits into that same category. It's not saying my vacation is going to fall apart. It's saying if life surprises me, I've already thought ahead. This passport gets you into another country, but it doesn't protect everything you've invested to get there. That's a different job. And that's where travel insurance enters the conversation. Not because we expect a disaster, but because we understand. Life doesn't ask for permission before it changes our plans. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, okay, Christy, I understand why people buy it. But what does it actually cover? That's a great question that you asked me. And before we get into all of that, we've got to clear up a few myths because, bless our hearts, there are some things we've all believed at one time or another. Well, carry on, crew. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for Bless Their Heart. Now remember, we're not making fun of anybody. We're laughing because chances are we have all believed at least one of these before. I know I have. So if one of these sounds familiar, just smile. You're among friends. All right, let's clear up a few travel insurance myths. The nothing's going to happen traveler. This traveler says, I don't need travel insurance. Nothing's going to happen to me. Friend, I hope you're right. I really do. But here is the thing. Nobody buys travel insurance because they're expecting something to happen. They buy it because nobody knows what's going to happen. If we all knew the future, we wouldn't need weather forecasts either. Bless your heart. Next, the healthy traveler. I never get sick. I'll be fine. And that's wonderful. I hope you stay healthy for every single trip you ever take. But travel insurance isn't just about getting sick. Flights can be canceled, luggage can be delayed, weather can change plans, family emergencies can happen. Travel involves a whole lot more than just your health. Bless your heart. The My Credit Card covers everything, traveler. Now, this one is my favorite. My credit card already has travel insurance. Maybe, it might. Some credit cards offer travel benefits, some don't. Some have very limited coverage. Some require you to pay for the entire trip with that card. Friend, don't assume no. Because I thought that was covered isn't something you want to discover after something goes wrong. Bless your heart. All right, The cruise line will take care of me, traveler. Now let's talk about this one. The cruise line will just refund me. Maybe, maybe not. Every cruise line has its own policies. Every supplier has its own terms and conditions. And that's why it's so important to understand what you are purchasing before you need it. Hope is wonderful. Understanding is even better. Bless your heart. The I'm just going to take my chances, traveler. We've all heard this one. It's only a few $100s. I'll take my chances. Can I ask you something? Would you skip the car insurance because you probably won't have an accident today? Would you cancel your homeowner's insurance because your house didn't have a problem last year? Probably not. Again, it's not about expecting something to happen. It's about protecting something valuable. And vacations, they are valuable. Not just because of the money, because of the memories tied to them. Bless your heart. Next, the I'll buy it later traveler. This one catches people all the time. I'll add travel insurance closer to the trip. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Some coverages are only available if you purchase within a certain time frame, so waiting isn't always your best option. The best time to ask questions about travel insurance is while you're planning your trip, not while you're packing your suitcase. Bless your heart. Here's the good news. Nobody expects you to know all this. Travel insurance can be confusing. Policies are different. Coverages are different. That's exactly why you ask questions. Don't guess. Do not assume. Don't buy something just because somebody else did. Understand what you're buying. Understand what it covers and understand what it doesn't. Because confidence comes from understanding, not assumptions. So today, bless the traveler who thought nothing could go wrong. Bless the traveler who assumed their credit card covered everything. Bless the traveler who planned to buy insurance later. And bless every one of us who ever said, I'll probably be fine. We've all been there. And now we're a little wiser. Because in just a minute, I'm going to show you exactly what responsible adults do before they ever click that purchase insurance button. All right, let's talk about what responsible adults do. And no, being a responsible traveler doesn't mean buying the most expensive insurance plan that you can find. It doesn't mean checking every box just because someone told you to. It means understanding what you're buying. Because here's what I've learned. The best travel decisions are informed decisions, not rushed decisions. So before you click purchase, here are a few things I want you to think about. Rule number 1, don't wait until the last minute. One of the smartest things you can do is talk about travel insurance early. Not the week before your trip, not while you're printing boarding passes, while you're planning. Why, you ask? Because some plans and benefits may only be available if coverage is purchased within a certain time frame after your initial trip payment. Every policy is different. That's why timing matters. The earlier you ask, the more questions you may have. Rule number 2, know what your policy covers. This one sounds simple, but so many people skip it. Don't just ask, do I have travel insurance? Ask, what does this policy actually cover? Trip cancellation, trip interruption, emergency medical care, emergency transportation, baggage issues, travel delays. Again, every policy is different. Don't assume your plan includes something just because another traveler's plan did. Take a few minutes, read the summary, ask questions, understand your coverage before you need it. Rule number 3, Know what your policy doesn't cover. This is just as important. Every insurance policy has exclusions. Every policy has limits. Every policy has conditions. That's not a bad thing. That's simply how insurance works. The goal isn't to memorize every page. The goal is to understand the basics so there aren't surprises later. If you don't understand something, ask. That's what your travel advisor or insurance company is there for. Rule number 4, keep everything together. If you purchase travel insurance, don't let the policy disappear into your email forever. Save it, download it, know where to find it. Keep important phone numbers handy. Know how to reach the insurance company if you need assistance while traveling. Hopefully, you will never need those numbers, but if you do, you'll be glad you knew exactly where they are. Rule number 5, document what happens. Now, let's talk about something people don't think about until it's too late. If something unexpected happens during your trip, keep records, save receipts, take pictures if appropriate, keep emails, hang on to paperwork. If you ever need to file a claim, good documentation can make the process so much easier. It's one of those things that's easy to do in the moment and hard to recreate later. Rule number 6, hope for the best, prepare for the unexpected. This might be the most important lesson of today's episode. Travel insurance isn't something you buy because you're negative. It's something you buy because you're realistic. You hope everything goes perfectly. You hope you'll never need to use it. And honestly, I hope you never do too. But if life takes on an unexpected turn, you'll be grateful you prepare ahead of time. That's wisdom, not worry. So let's review. Talk about travel insurance early. Understand what your policy covers. Understand what it doesn't. Keep your documents organized. Save important information. Document anything unexpected. And remember, preparation isn't the opposite of optimism. Preparation is always optimism to stay strong when life throws you a curveball. You know, people sometimes ask me, Christy, do you always buy travel insurance? My answer is simple. I hope I never need it, but I never want to wish I had it. That's the difference. And one more thing. Please don't make travel insurance decisions based on what your cousin bought or someone said on Facebook group. Your trip is unique. Your needs are unique. Your policy should fit your situation. Ask questions. Read the information. Make the decision that's right for you. That's what responsible adults do. Now, did I always understand travel insurance? Not at all. Matter of fact, there was one conversation with a traveler that completely changed the way I looked at it. Ask me how I know. Well, Carry On crew, y'all know what time it is. It's time for Ask Me How I Know. This is part of the show where I tell you something I learned along the way. So hopefully you don't have to learn it the hard way. Today's lesson, travel insurance doesn't become important until the moment it does. Ask me how I know. Can I be honest with you? There was a time when I looked at travel insurance the same way a lot of people do today. I thought I probably never need it. Honestly, it wasn't something I got excited about. When I was planning a trip, I was thinking about the destination, the food, the excursions, the countdown. Travel insurance, it felt like paperwork. Something that you just checked off so you could get back to the fun stuff. Maybe you felt that way also. Then I started helping people plan vacations, birthday trips, anniversary celebrations, family reunions, bucket list adventures. The excitement is contagious. Everyone is counting down the days, talking about excursions, shopping for vacation clothes, making restaurant plans. Everything is coming together. And thankfully, most of those trips went exactly as planned. People came home smiling. They shared beautiful pictures. They talked about incredible memories. That's what I love. That's the best part of what I do. Then, every once in a while, life changes the story. Not because anyone did anything wrong, not because anyone planned poorly, simply because life just happened. I remember working with a traveler whose trip was just around the corner. Everything was ready. Flights were booked, the hotel was confirmed, activities were planned, the countdown had already begun. They were so excited. Then one phone call changed everything. Suddenly, the vacation wasn't the priority anymore. Being with family was. And honestly, that's exactly where they needed to be. In that moment, nobody cared about the beach. Nobody cared about the cruise. Nobody cared about excursions. Life had interrupted the plan. That conversation stayed with me. Not because it was dramatic, but because it was real. It reminded me how quickly life can change. I've seen travelers face unexpected illnesses before departure. I've seen the family emergencies change everything overnight. I've seen weather interrupt carefully planned vacations. I've seen airline disruptions completely rearrange travel plans. None of those people expected it, not one. You know what they all had in common? When they booked their trip, they were thinking about memories, not filing insurance claims. That's how it should be. Nobody plans a vacation and hoping they'll need help. But when life suddenly changes, that's when preparation matters. Months of planning changed by one expected moment. I remember another conversation that has stayed with me. A traveler said something I'll never forget. They told me I almost didn't get the insurance. Almost. That one word, almost. Because when everything was going smoothly, insurance felt unnecessary. But after life took an unexpected turn, it became one of the best decisions they made during the entire planning process. Not because it erased the disappointment, nothing could do that, but because it helped protect the investment they had worked so hard to make. That conversation has stayed with me ever since. And that's when my perspective also changed. And can I tell you how I look at insurance now? I stopped thinking of travel insurance as another travel expense. I started thinking of it as part of the travel plan. Just like I budget for flights, just like I budget for hotel, just like I budget for excursions, I think about protecting the investment also. Not because I expect something to go wrong, because I understand that life doesn't always ask for permission. I realize travel insurance isn't really about protecting a vacation. It's about protecting everything you've invested into that vacation. Your time, your money, your plans, your peace of mind. Now, I want to be very clear about something. Travel insurance doesn't erase emergencies. It doesn't stop storms, it doesn't prevent illness, and it doesn't guarantee every situation will be covered. Every policy is different. Every traveler is different. That's why it's so important to understand your specific coverage before you travel. But what it can do, depending on your policy and your circumstances, is provide protection when life takes an unexpected turn. Sometimes that's exactly what people need. Not because they're looking for something extra, but because they're trying to recover from something they never imagined would happen. And you know what's interesting? The biggest lesson I learned wasn't really about insurance. It was about preparation. Prepared travelers don't expect everything to go wrong. They simply understand that life doesn't always go according to plan. And that's okay. We still book the trip. We still get excited. We still count down the days. We still believe it's going to be amazing. We just take a few extra steps to prepare wisely. That's confidence, not fear. Today, when I look at these two things, I see them differently. The passport helps me travel the world. The travel insurance helps me prepare for the parts of the journey I can't predict. Both matter, just in different ways. And you know, people sometimes ask me, Christy, what's the biggest travel lesson you've learned? Honestly, it has nothing to do with packing or airports or cruise ships. It's this: life is beautifully unpredictable. Sometimes that means surprise upgrades, unexpected friendships, hidden beaches, magical sunsets, and sometimes it means plans change. Neither one makes life bad, it just makes life life. And I've learned that prepared travelers don't expect perfection. They prepare with wisdom. Then they go enjoy the journey. So, do I hope you never need to use travel insurance? Absolutely. With all my heart. I hope every trip is smooth. I hope every flight is on time. I hope every suitcase arrives. I hope every vacation is everything you dreamed it would be. But if life ever interrupts those plans, I hope you've already taken a few simple steps to protect yourself. Because when unexpected moments come, that's not the time to wish you'd ask more questions. So that's today's Ask Me How I Know. And before we leave the departure lounge, I've got one more thing I like to hand you. So let's get your boarding pass. Well, Carry On Crew, I've reached one of my favorite moments of every travel talk. This is Christy's boarding pass. Every Monday, I want you to leave the departure lounge with something practical, something simple, something that helps you travel with a little more confidence than you had before you walked in. So, here's your boarding pass for today. Boarding pass number 1. Hope for the best, prepare for the unexpected. I hope every trip you ever take goes exactly as planned. I hope your flights are on time, your luggage arrives, the weather's beautiful, the memories are unforgettable. That's what I want for you. But hoping for the best and preparing for the unexpected can exist at the same time. That's not fear, that is wisdom. Boarding pass number 2. Understand before you buy. Whether you purchase travel insurance from your travel advisor, from a cruise line, from a tour company, or directly from an insurance provider, take a few minutes to understand what you are buying. Ask questions, read the summary, know what is covered, know what it doesn't. A few minutes of understanding today can prevent a whole lot of confusion later. Boarding pass number 3. Protect the memories you're investing in. When you plan a vacation, you're investing more than money. You're investing vacation days you've been saving, family time, anniversary celebrations, birthday memories, bucket list dreams, time you'll never get back. Protecting that investment isn't about expecting the worst. It's about valuing what you've worked so hard to create. Here's your Carry On Crew challenge for the week. The next time you're planning your trip, don't automatically click yes or no when you see the travel insurance option. Pause, read, ask questions, compare your options. Make an informed decision that's right for your trip. Because confident travelers, they don't guess, they understand. You know, one of the things I love most about travel is that it reminds us how beautiful life can be. New places, new people, new experiences, new memories. Travel has a way of expanding our world. And I never want fear to keep anyone from seeing it. But I also don't want uncertainty to watch you unprepared. Because there's a difference between traveling with fear and traveling with wisdom. Wisdom doesn't steal your excitement, it protects it. Thank you for spending the part of the day with me. here in the Departure Lounge. Now, I love to hear from you. Before today's travel talk, what did you believe about travel insurance that changed your mind about? Or maybe you still have questions. That's okay too. Drop them in the comments. I love to keep this conversation going because if you're wondering, chances are someone else is wondering the exact same thing. If today's travel talk helped you, share it with someone who's planning a vacation right now. It could help them make one of the smartest travel decisions they'll ever make. And if you're not already part of the Carry On crew, I'd love for you to join us every Monday right here in the Departure Lounge. Now, next week, we're talking about something that can save you money, reduce stress, and completely change the way you plan your vacations. Why hiring a travel advisor isn't about saving money, it's about saving time, stress, and costly mistakes. Because the biggest value a travel advisor brings isn't always found on the price tag. It's found in everything you don't have to worry about. Until next week, keep your carry-on light, your passport ready, and your heart open for whatever adventure comes next. Now, carry on.